Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to another wonderful edition of Ignite with Sandy. So, I hope you remember what Ignite with Sandy is. Yes, I bring on these wonderful guests from all over the world, different walks of life, different professions, different everything, and I interview them. And when they speak, you are going to be inspired. And Ignite with Sandy, my guests fire up your neurons, get you thinking what you can do, what else you can do with your life, how can you move forward, what challenges are you facing, how can you overcome those. So my guests are, as I said, from different walks of life, and I meet a lot of interesting people. So Celestia, the platform, is all about bringing you women of substance, women who have done something, have succeeded, and are moving forward. And through their stories, we talk about love, work life balance, the family, the business, the career, the education, everything. And it is one of those platforms where you can find a variety. So anytime you're looking to be inspired, anytime you want to ignite your neurons, you come to the Celestia platform. So my guest today is a very interesting person, and she's from a part that I like a lot. It's called media. Yes. So when we talk about media in today's world, it's a lot about social media. But this is a lady who is looking at media from a serious platform. And so she's going to be telling us what she does, how she does it, and what is so important. And as you know, I never ever introduce my guest. I always get them to introduce themselves. And so I'm going to bring on my guest, and she's going to introduce herself to you.
Well, hello,
Well,
Kaz.
hello, my dear, and thank you very much for joining us. And could you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Hello, everyone. My name is Mayowa Adegoke. I'm an international journalist. I'm a speaker. I'm a media entrepreneur. I live here in Dubai with my family, and I'm excited about life, about success. I'm also the founder and organizer of the Road to Success seminar, which we do out here in Dubai. I am also the co-founder of Archgoke Interactive, a media company that's based in Dubai. We operate here and we serve clients from across the world in the areas of content creation, TV production, PR, image management, and much more. And I think that's a little bit about myself. I love God, I love people, and I'm passionate about life.
Okay, my dear. So thank you very much for that. And I think you're packing in a lot of stuff in those 24, 365. And I'm sure you're giving it your all and bringing out
Can't hear
something
you,
really
Sandy.
brilliant. So I just wanted to know, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so I'm just going to get you back on stage. Can you hear
Still can't
me?
hear you. No.
Oh dear, I wonder why. Because your mic is on. Now, can you hear me?
No.
Oh, I can hear you very well.
Oh, that's surprising. It was working well just now. No, you appear muted over here. So maybe unmute and then it would work now.
Can you hear me now?
What's going on?
Oh dear, this is really going bad. I wonder what's happening now. Can you try and mute and unmute yourself? Unmute. This is going really bad now. I have no idea what's happening. But your mic is. Are you okay now? Can you hear me? No?
Don't worry, the moment I hear you, I
I
would
can hear
respond to
you.
you.
I can hear you. Okay, so anyway, I think we're as usual having some kind of a problem. You can get on your phone. Can you get on your phone?
Yes, technology to the rescue.
Absolutely fine. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get you. on this. And everybody who's watching, you know that everything that happens is going to really make a lot of difference when we can't get to hear each other. So, my dear, I want you to look at your phone. Look at your phone, right? I'm sending you a message. And in the message, I am asking you, how did you get started in your career in media? Were you always fond of it, or were you pushed into it like, oh no, this is something I would like to do, or how did it start? Unmute your mic. In media, were you always fond?
All right. Thank you so much, Sandy, for the question. So, just in case you cannot hear Sandy, now this is my TV presenter kicking in. Just in case you cannot hear Sandy for any reason, she's going to be sending me the questions via another platform, and I will answer those questions here. And I trust that we will have an interesting conversation regardless. So, the first question is, how did I get into media? And this is actually one interesting question I always get, and I always have this interesting answer. I went into media because I think it was largely inspired by my father. So my dad, Jide Ogundele, renowned journalist in his time. He started out in media before he crossed over into corporate comms and then became an entrepreneur of some sort. So my father was a journalist, and I think watching him, his brilliance, his network, his current affairs knowledge, all of that stuff really had me intrigued. Plus this special interesting part, he always had access to all the big parties, like all the VIP parties, and sometimes he'd take us along as his kids and family. And I think that was quite interesting. The fact that you can network, you can meet people, you can know people, you can become someone. You can have your own finance, your own money, build your own wealth, and do it while you love it. And I thought that was quite intriguing. I think that made a huge impression on me. But ultimately, when I had to decide what path I was going to pursue, I I wanted to do something that felt very natural to me. I didn't necessarily want to have my head buried in books. So law was another option, but I said I'd have to be reading all these old books and chasing up all these 1,000 cases from God knows when. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that all the rest of my life. So I said journalism, media was a lot more natural to my personality. I would be able to show forth my brilliance. I can build my network. And I thought this is the way to go because I felt like I would never work a day in my life if I pursued media. Well, not entirely true. I have worked, but yes, mostly true. It doesn't really feel like work. It feels like my passion. It feels like my purpose. It feels like my assignment. And that's how I came into media. Started out properly the year 2013. And that's when I started my TV broadcasting career at Channels Television Nigeria, the leading broadcast television in the country. And it's been an interesting near 11 years now. So the next question is, how did I get the job, and what was that like? So as I mentioned just a few minutes, not a few minutes, a few seconds ago, I started my broadcasting career at Channels Television Nigeria in 2013. And funny story how that happened. In the year 2012, I actually applied to the company. I wanted to be a reporter, but I never got a call back. Nothing happened. And I thought at the time, like, oh, that's the end of my TV dream. It's not going to happen. Like, they didn't call me back, And I said, well, maybe TV was not in the cards for me. Not in the cards, maybe not in my destiny. And I pursued other opportunities, which led me to the digital space, blogging, content creation. And that's how I started my work life, my career life. Fast forward a year and some months later, I did get into channels, this time as a writer and web editor. So, still along the lines of everything digital. Started there, and 8 months later, I found myself on TV. Literally got auditioned for TV. Few months after I joined the company, I passed the audition, and next thing you know, I'm the one who's presenting entertainment for the entire station, and that's how my journey started, from presenting entertainment to co-producing the show, to later on, much later on, newscasting, before becoming an international correspondent, because I moved to Dubai for personal reasons, and that really just unlocked a new phase for me. What were the challenges, at least back in Lagos? I'd say the challenges, I wouldn't really call them challenges. I I'm one who's typically thirsty for challenges. I find them as adventures. So when what someone else would call a challenge, I call an adventure. I was doing what I loved. So it didn't matter that I was spending hours and hours and hours a day at work. It didn't matter that I only was very certain what time I got to the office and not what time I got back home. I was doing what I loved. I loved it. I loved it. It was this endless cycle of pursuing the news, interviewing people, meeting people, informing the nation. So that was exciting. So I really wouldn't call them challenges. I just call them part of the adventure, and that's how my journey was until I moved to Dubai, and that just unlocked a new season and a new phase for me. Social media today. Wow. So, for someone like me who is a graduate of mass communication, I mean, this is what I studied in school. This is not just something I picked up one morning by holding a phone. And to see how social media has blossomed and grown and expanded and just exploded, it's quite exciting. It's an evolution. It's an advanced level of what we already do. Yes, I do come from a traditional TV background, and the traditional would be like the proper newspaper, the TV, the radio. But now you've got like social media. Even everyone on the traditional side already has a digital side, which is in part social media. So it's interesting to see how social media is helping, the media space is helping the spread of information. But as we know, it's also brought its own challenges of fake news. And now we've got like deep tech, where people can actually create something that exists and call it news. So that's quite interesting, those challenges. However, I think it's the same with any platform. There'll always be the good and the bad, and it's up to us and the industry, humans, government, regulatory bodies to find a way around the negatives, right? Even the traditional media had its negatives, and pretty much stakeholders and government and regulatory bodies will also just rally around and say, this cannot be. We've got to protect the industry. We've got to protect the platform. What can we do? Do I see a lot more being done now? No. Right. So typically what newspapers would get, hammered for by government or by TV, you don't really see social media companies being hammered that way. And you don't really see the regulation kicking in, even for individual users. And to someone who's got thousands of followers, or who doesn't even have that many followers, would go online, post something that is untrue, unverified, and next thing you know, it's spread like wildfire. Before the truth actually catches up, it's already too late. So I'd say that we need more regulation of some sort. Yes, we don't want to hamper free speech, but we do need regulation, because social media can be very dangerous when it's in the hands of the wrong persons, when the wrong information goes out there. So yes, I believe that more needs to be done in terms of regulation, in terms of sensitizing people on the dangers of the powerful tool that social media is. And I'd say that actually I'd recommend something that might be controversial. I'd say that anyone who identifies as an influencer, anyone who has taken it upon themselves to regularly share information, should probably be mandated to take a course in media and information sharing and citizen journalism. I think it's important because they've become, in a way, gatekeepers of some sort. So yes, we need such persons to get some education. So yeah, responsibility as a media person. So it's interesting. Just a few days ago, or was it yesterday? Someone referred to me as an influencer, and I said I do not identify as an influencer. I do identify as an influential person. That I cannot deny. And maybe they're one and the same. I don't know. But I believe that I've actually spoken to, the question about my responsibilities. My responsibilities continue to be to inform, to educate, in some ways to entertain. I mean, I did spend a couple of years as the entertainment presenter and producer, and that's all about entertainment, even though it does have information in it. So these are my responsibilities: to continue to enlighten people, to continue to spotlight, and I think that's what exciting part of my work as a journalist, as a media personality, as a TV broadcaster. It is to spotlight ideas, personalities, topics, issues, challenges, resolutions, concepts that people need to hear about. And I take it as a big privilege to do that. What are my projects right now? My gosh, where to start? So, as I said earlier, I'm the co founder of a media company that's based here in Dubai. We pride ourselves as the bridge between the UAE and Africa. It's a baby company to an extent, but we've actually done quite exciting work in that regard. We are here to serve the global space, but we're particular about the Africa, UAE, and then global corridor, serving people and their media needs along those lines. I'm also the founder and organizer of the Road to Success seminar. This is a seminar that helps entrepreneurs and career professionals, especially in the UAE. Our aim is to continue to be a platform that helps people get the right information for their success journeys. So we're looking for partners, we're looking for sponsors. We want to make it bigger. We actually just concluded our fourth edition about 2 weekends ago, and that's quite exciting. So we're looking for more partners to make this bigger and better as we continue to serve the expat community and the business community here in the UAE and beyond, because we do have plans to expand and grow. I'm a speaker, I'm a conference MC and moderator. These are exciting hats that I wear, and I look forward to an exciting 2024, traveling the world, speaking on multiple stages, and interacting with key personalities across the globe. What are my projects? What are other projects? I think those projects are, they're quite exciting. They keep me quite busy. So if anyone is interested, please do get in touch. Content that I'm focusing on now would be content that serves entrepreneurs and professionals. By the way, I'm also a personal branding consultant and a public speaking coach. So this is how I serve entrepreneurs and career professionals as a person, as the Lady Mayowa, which is my brand name. So yes, yeah, and it's funny. The next question is, am I looking to groom speakers? Yes, I'm looking to groom more people who realize and understand the power of public speaking. Public speaking helps me to accept this. That's why I'd accept an invitation like this and say, okay, come share your story. A lot of people would cringe and would shy away from opportunities to speak. And I believe strongly that your speaking is connected to your reward and your reputation. So you want to do better with your reputation, you want to get more reward, you need to start speaking. You need to learn how to speak, because it's not just about opening your mouth and speaking. There's a way to speak. to influence, to impact, to pass across your message. There's a way to do that, and I'm happy to teach people who realize the power of public speaking and the power of building a personal brand. Sustainability is a big topic now, especially in the UAE as we prepare to host COP28. And I'm just excited. There's one thing I don't like. I don't like wastage of any kind, particularly food wastage. So I'm looking forward to conversations around how people can avoid wasting anything, wasting food, wasting resources, wasting talent, even. So how to be sustainable on a day to day. I think we have a lot of work to do in that regard, and I'm looking forward to the conversations that will come out of COP28. Sustainable fashion, yes. Just today, I was telling my husband, he was talking about a pair of a clothes that I had that was old, a bit faded. And I said, I like it exactly that way, old and faded. I want to wear and wear and wear, and I want to wear for many years. And I think that's one thing people need to learn again. Back in my day growing up, you had hand me downs. I didn't have the, the luxury of that because my sister is 6 years older than I am. So there was really nothing for her to hand over to me. But where I come from, it's a culture to keep clothes for the next child. It's a thing to not throw away things and just find another family, find another person who needs them, and keep using them. In the world that we live in now, fast fashion is a thing, and I think we really need to rise up and do something about it. People need to be conscious of how fast fashion affects the climate, affects the environment, affects us as humans. So I'd say people need to, cultivate that habit of investing in quality, investing in products, services that are conscious of the environment, and let's say no to fast fashion as much as possible. Recycling, water conservation, absolutely. These are concepts that I absolutely support, and not just concepts. These are, realities. This is a way of life, lifestyle that I'm in full support of, and I believe everyone should learn, because there's a lot of learning to do. So people should learn how to do better with sustainability in different aspects of life. Financial independence for women, yes. And it's not just about for women. I believe every adult should be able to fend for themselves, regardless of their social status, regardless of their marital status. Every adult should be able to fend for themselves. So it's not about being a woman or a man. If you're healthy, if you have the capacity to, if you're capable of doing that, find a way to be financially independent, find a way to meet your own needs, pay your own bills, find a way to even keep something for others. That's very important. So, do I support financial independence for women? Yes. Take on women empowerment. I shy away from the word empowerment. I tilt towards more elevation, because empowerment to me sounds like they don't have power, so you've got to give it to them. You've got to empower them and give them what they don't have. Women do have power. Do they use it? Not all the time. Do they realize it? Maybe not always. But can we elevate the mindset? Can we elevate their network? Can we elevate just everything about them? Yes, we can elevate. But I believe that women already have power. Do they use it all the time? No. Do they realize it all the time? No. Absolutely. Health and wellness. We all have to be health conscious. It's a no-brainer. We just have to do that. We have to find ways to relax. I'm so in a recent conversation with Richard Fitzgerald, who is the CEO of Love in Dubai. I also interviewed him for my podcast, which is called the Road to Success podcast. And in that conversation, he said something about workaholic has been made out to be a negative word, and I quite agree with him, right? So workaholic is not a negative word. So I can probably say that I'm some kind of a workaholic. But do I find time to relax, re-energize. Yes, we have to prioritize rest, and just recharging mentally, physically. We have to do that. And I think part of that is also find a way to make your money work for you, find a way to accomplish much more with less. So that way you're not in the rat race so much and you can find time to relax and travel and do all the things that you love. Time management, as a woman who belongs to a young family, I just do what I have to do. I just do what I have to do. If I feel like, you know what, today I'm resting, yes, I do that. Thankfully, to a large extent, I'm in control of my own time. So some Mondays, if I decide this Monday I'm just Netflixing and chilling, then that's what I'm going to do. Supplements, no. Nutritious food, yes, yes, yes. Eat your veggies, drink a lot more water. Yes. Eat your greens, eat it as fresh as possible. Yes. Rest, 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 rest. Very important, right? So, yes, I'm more pro nutritious food than supplements, and cut out sugar as much as possible. Cut out junk as much as possible. Exercise, I don't do it as much or hardly ever, but yes, yes to exercising. This has been quite a conversation, Sandy. This is between WhatsApp, StreamYard, appearance, makeup. So it's very important that we invest on the inside. And I'm big on that. So I'm big on everything that happens on the inside. Makeup is just nice cover up, enhancement, which is nice. I'm actually wearing, very light makeup, very, very light makeup. But showing up without makeup and still looking good, that's the most important thing. So invest in skincare, invest in what you take into your body, invest in all of that so that you can shine from the outside, from the inside out, rather. So yes, makeup should just be, I mean, if you don't show up with makeup, people should still look at you and say, wow, you look amazing. And that's because your skin is glowing, your skin is clear, you look fresh, you look healthy, you look refreshed. Botox fillers, I get that we want to slay till the last day, but I think there's beauty in aging. I have white hairs. I'm in my mid 30s and I have lots of gray hairs. I refuse to, you know, dye them out. It's what it is. So I believe that, yes, it's okay to age gracefully. Focus on food, good health, good mental state, and just age gracefully. Are there times when we need radical work? Yes. I believe there are situations that would be okay to say, okay, let's do this. But that shouldn't be every day, shouldn't be commonplace. And she's,
I don't know whether you can hear me.
yes, I can hear you
Oh my God, thank God for that.
loud and
Wha-
clear.
Yes, wonderful. I've been sending you all these messages, and you're such a pro because you just go with the flow, and you're so used to being prompted on your headphones or whatever you wear when you're on TV, and you know how to uh, bring about the situation so it doesn't become a crisis. I think
Absolutely.
that's a great what should I say, gift, because not everybody can do it, and maintain your calm and your whatever else. So I'm happy that we're back. So I wanted to ask you, one of the things that happens these days, and especially when you're in the media, you're being seen all the time, so you're obviously very conscious about how you appear. Okay, so appearance doesn't mean being looking glamorous or all dolled up or whatever. It it it's a personality or what should I say, a way that you want to be seen,
Absolutely.
right? So because I think that then creates your personality. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So, as someone who's got to show up either on TV, either on stage, either events, either online like this, it's important that we understand the power of the experience of us. So, what is the experience of us? It's how you speak, how you show up, your grace, your intelligence, your wisdom, your heart. All of these things make up the experience, how people experience the person called you. So, it's very important to be intentional. And don't forget, beyond being just a TV personality or TV broadcaster, I'm also a personal branding consultant. So, I understand the importance of being intentional in how we show up, not just in what we wear or what we put on our faces, but in how we speak, the confidence that we exude, how we, the social etiquette, the business etiquette, all of that, very, very important. So as much as yes, we wish that we just did anything we liked and said whatever we wanted, all of these have repercussions, and especially with this global space that we're in now, one word here can set the whole world on fire. So
Yes.
we've got to be very careful because context is something that is very delicate, which is why they advise that you don't have difficult conversations via text or via WhatsApp. If you're going to have a difficult conversation, don't chat and say WhatsApp. It's best to have a face to face like this because context is very delicate. Context can make or mar a conversation.
Yes.
Context can make or mar a policy, a decision, anything. And context is not easily communicated. So one can take a quick look at you and decide this one, bad business. Why? Because the context was not clear, it was
Yes.
lost. So how you show up, very important. What I'd wear to a business meeting is very different from what I wear to hang out with the girls. Context. How I speak on stage and how I speak with my son or my girlfriends when, very different context and being intentional. So, yes.
Yes. So you were talking a little bit about branding, and I've read a lot of books about the brand called you. Where yes, you are the person, and it's something that you are projecting. It's your thoughts or what you stand for. For example, I'm known over the years as a person who talks about financial independence. I talk about financial stability. I talk about financial empowerment of women, not empowerment. I'm talking financial empowerment because when you're financially empowered, when you're educated, when you're doing things for yourself, automatically everything else falls into place. So, yes, I agree that it's important. So, people look upon me as the financial person. But there are also times when people look upon me as a person who's into health and wellness because it's something that I do look after myself. I'm conscious what I do, and you mentioned that. So when we're talking about the branding that you do, are there sort of different segments that you look at when you are hired by somebody to improve that? So what are the various things that you look at?
So, when I get a client for personal branding, for me, again, just as you said, the brand called you, the person is what I focus on.
Okay.
Right? So we take a deep dive into who is this person, how have they been showing up, how do they want to show up, what are they trying to achieve, what message are they trying to pass across. So for me, a lot of people think that personal branding is just pictures and videos and posting on Instagram and LinkedIn. There is so much more. you know the world that we live in now, we have a physical world and we also have a digital world. Now we're
Yes.
talking avatars, we're talking about, the other, like there's so much going on. So as much as you show up in person and people experience you in the flesh, in the physical, there's also an experience virtually, and you've got to be able to communicate what you've got in the physical to the virtual.
Okay.
Your in-person experience and your virtual experience have got to match up. So for me, I dive deep into their messaging, their purpose, because everything has got to align, right? The experience you have of me today has got to be the same experience you have of me when we meet in person. I've got to
Yes.
be the same person. Not like, oh, online she's one person, but when we meet her, then she's somebody else. So alignment in your messaging, your identity, the platform that you speak on, the confidence. There is so much that we that we go through together. So as you said, it's the person. There's no personal branding without the person.
Yeah.
We work on the person. Some people, they've accomplished so much, but there's been no recognition. Why? There's been no personal branding. They just know you maybe at the office and that's it. But there's so much more value that you can offer the world, that you can offer your industry at large. And personal branding is how you do it. I typically say that personal branding is how you help your needle to be found in the haystack, because there's so many needles. How will your needle be found? Personal branding is what does that.
Quite true, quite true. So, what I've understood so far, sometimes people have an impression or an idea of what they'd like to be, but doesn't necessarily mean that that is who they are. So there's a sort of a disconnect that I want to be so and so or like this, but I don't have personally the abilities or the capabilities of actually doing that. So uh, I think they're a little bit delusional. But when you have people like that, uh, are you able to sit them down and say, okay, let's be realistic? This is what you can achieve, and this is what would take you to the next step in your journey. This is what will get you the success you want. So stop trying to focus on something that you cannot be.
Sure. So as I said, a lot of people think that personal branding is just showing up everywhere, having the
Right.
pictures and the videos, and that's not what it is. They look at this, the way social media just elevates people and makes them into superstars. That's fine for you to be celebrated, for us to see your picture in Forbes, for the interviews to happen, for people to celebrate you. That's okay. But let's make sure we're not throwing away the value. So it's all about value. It's all value connected. So the work that we do is to identify what value you bring to your space, to the world, to your community. What value do you bring? How can we amplify that such that you get recognition and reward for those things? Because those are two great needs. We want
Yes.
to get reward. We want to get paid because listen, these bills don't play, right? You've got to pay the bill. We talk about financial independence, it's all tied to the money. So we talk about how you can get rewarded and recognized for the value that you bring. So how can we make sure this value comes out of you and goes out in the world? How can we do that through public speaking? How can we do that through thought leadership? How can we do that through media, interviews, PR? So it's everything boils down to the value that that person has. So we're
Okay.
not trying to make you into something you're not. We're trying to bring out the gold that is on the inside of you and project that to the world.
Okay. So we're coming to the end of our webinar. So before you leave us, can you give us just 3 pointers of anybody who's looking to brand themselves, rebrand themselves, be out there, become a public speaker, become somebody in the media, maybe it's just writing or whatever it is. What are the 3 points that where we can start off and obviously then come to you?
So point one is you have to realize that the world is looking for solution providers. Be a solution provider. That's where you start. And to be a solution provider means that number one, you actually have a solution. Number two, you're confident about that solution because no one's going to buy something you're not selling confidently. It's like, oh, can this drug cure me? Can it heal my disease? Yes, I actually did make it, but I'm not really sure. I'm not buying that product. I'm buying from the person who says, I created this product. I have tried it. I have tested it. Other people have tried and tested it. It works. I promise you, you are going to get XYZ from this product. Try it or your money back in 10 days. That's confidence. And that's how you've got to sell the value that you bring to the table. So, number one is understand that the world needs solution providers. Be a solution provider. Whichever way you want to do that, just make sure you're providing the solution. On the back of that is be confident about the solution that you're providing because no one's going to buy from you if you're not a confident seller, if you get what I mean. So, be confident about the solution that you bring to the table. And I think number three is get help where you need it. A lot of people get stuck in wanting to be all, everything to everyone
Yes.
at every time. You don't have it all figured out. You may have value, but maybe you don't know how to present that value to the world, which is where you need someone like me to say, Mayowa, I have this amazing thing. I just struggle with projecting that to the world. And I'll tell you, okay, I'll handle that part for you. You handle being the genius. I'll handle how the world can see, recognize, and reward that genius. Get help where you can. So I think those 3 points are really good.
All right, my dear, thank you very much for that. It was wonderful. And although we had a couple of glitches, you, the professional, just carried it on. And we managed to get out all that information that we needed to share with our audience. So thank you very much. And I will be speaking to you, I'm sure, quite soon. In the meantime, thank you very much from Celestia.
Thank you so much, Sandy.
Well, there you have it. Lady May. So, what did she say? And what was it that I heard? I heard that you have to be very authentic, you have to be genuine, you have to be realistic. Because if you want to achieve something, and especially in the media, you need to understand that it's a lot more than what you think. It's a lot more than having followers on social media. It's a lot more. You need substance, you need content, and you need to put it in the right context, in the right audience, and deliver it in the most professional way that you can. So, all of us think that we're pretty good at this and we're pretty good at that, but we need to be a little more critical of ourselves. We need to reach out to people who do this for a living. They are the ones who are professional and will tell us what we think and what we actually are. So, media is very interesting. I know a lot of us are interested in it. I'm personally very interested in it, but I do try and find out if I'm doing things correctly. And I'm also open to criticism. I think that's a very important part. You have to be vulnerable, you have to be open to learning, because there's no age or stage in your life where you'll know everything, because things are moving so fast. So come back to us on Ignite with Sandy and the Celestia platform to learn more of how you can be a more authentic, a more valuable person who contributes not only to the people around them, but to yourself. And on that happy note, thank you very much for watching. But don't forget, you're supposed to like our YouTube channel. So do subscribe, do watch the video, do share it with your friends. Until next week, bye for y'all.